The next gen Tata Tiago. Dual tone interior, dual smartphone deck but wireless charger. Zip fast 100% watt syakmat bercedian, blind view monitor, bagi kiway. Tek kum ki kali rem, hagador ke berjam, tak sao pun riulak. Just wow.
Shibenta nakajubab Menteri Rangba Kajalau Conrad ke sangma halor ka short duration discussion banyatai halor ki spotli ki mat jingdawa ka Voice of the People Party ya ka balawan ra daw ba Arden Miller basayomot UMLA na nongkram haka sngi ba ar ka dorbar senrai jong ka yeng dorbar thawan ka jala haka ar presentarik nailar araja arpnri ulakran halor ka public hearing na ka benta ban yok long motion na ka Shree Cement Limited. Menteri Rangba Ulaong, baka Shree Cement Limited kadai ka company ka bawan baar haka jinghe ban kam hakari India, pat kum ka jala ka don kam ya ki Jingkynshew-Kam lani investment ban kentiu ya ka roy ka par. Ulaong baha ka public hearing ka badai ban yashim banta tang dagi bayadan banta kum ki try jaka, nong song snong gatan, ban lawan ban Tuklar lang daki way pat ki badai na shabar. Ulapan pau baka sarkar kala tau ya ka fact-finding committee halor ki Jingkynshew-Kam bala kado halor ka public hearing jong ka Shree Cement Limited.
The concerns, I think, in general have been that private sector is coming in, outside investment is coming in and trying to take over. So this misconception must be removed, sir. Sir, for any state, any country to move forward, you need investment from outside. That is what growth is. Investment happens, growth happens when investment takes place. So therefore, we have to get investments. So that's how things move forward. So many questions were raised about, companies like Shree Cement coming in. So Shree Cement today is the second largest cement company in the country. They're the second largest in the country. And they're a very known organization throughout the world, and especially in the eastern region. So a company of that stature today is wanting to come in and invest in our state. I think, sir, it's a great plus for us that we should look at the aspects of all the different aspects and ensure that we get investments like these that are coming in. Now, obviously, sir, when this happens, there are concerns. It does not mean that we are going to bulldoze any concern. It does not mean that we are going to not follow any rules or regulations. We must follow all the rules. We must follow all the regulations, sir. And so, in fact, even in this issue, there are a lot of concerns that are being raised about the public hearing. Sir, in large number of these public hearing cases, in the past also we have seen that apart from the local people who are involved in the public hearing, there is always a tendency for people all the way from other districts, faraway districts, to come in and be part of the public hearing. So the public hearing is meant for the stakeholders and meant for the landowners and the people in that surrounding areas, sir. And these were the challenges that took place even with the hearing of Shree Cement. But at the same time, there were challenges like this happening for all public hearings. And we've seen this happening quite sometimes, sir. And just to share with the House, sir, that we have also decided that since the concerns are there, we have put up a fact-finding committee to look into all the concerns that are there, that are raised in this in regards to the public hearing of the Shree Cement. And we will ensure that we go into all the different aspects and concerns that are being raised by the people. But I think as a larger note, sir, as I said, investment is what we require. And therefore, whatever the areas are there, obviously, as I said, there's a procedure for every aspect. Everything that we do is based on procedures, sir. So therefore, we will have to follow those procedures. One cannot bypass those procedures. So to say that we as a government are just simply going for, creating an opportunity for outsiders to come in and invest is giving the image that we are trying to just sell our land or sell things away. It doesn't work like that, sir. That's not the intention of our government. The intention of our government is to bring in investment, because it is with investment and industrial growth and economic growth that jobs are created. So while we bring in investment from outside, yes, we need to protect our people, we need to protect our environment. There are measures for it. There are procedures for it. And that's what we should stick to and follow. But simply to say that we don't want any investment from outside, we don't want any economic development from outside, and yet we say we want the jobs, is being completely, you're not having the same, you're contradicting yourself, sir. So therefore, you cannot contradict yourself by saying that we don't want investment, but we want the jobs. We don't want investments, but we want to, see that our state moves forward. So there are balances and checks and balances that we need to maintain. That is what we've been doing. We've been working towards that. And as I said, sir, that yes, there have been many points that have been mentioned. I have tried to clarify all the points. It's a very long agenda that was mentioned. As far as possible, sir, I have tried to clarify all the issues.
Hakaway pat kabentau menteri rang ba ula kren halor ka matjing dawa ban pendam ya ka project na dolan nong lompong deng hakabaw laong ban nadu manswa ladap kren shai ba anam dan kinu ki jingtai hakatay ka dolan nong.
Sir, the Lumpong Deng Island, spread across approximately 36 acres, has been totally excluded from the development ambit of the Umiam 5-star hotel. So if you remember, there was concerns that were raised by certain environment organizations. And looking at the concerns that were being raised, in spite of the fact that we had made it very clear that the Lumpong Deng Island will not be the main site of construction, but will only add as another area where temporary activities will take place. Suppose tomorrow we want to have a farmer's fair or even to have a small wedding destination, it will be a unique kind of a selling point where a small stage can be constructed and overlooking the lake, marriages can take place. So it was with that intention to really give it a very unique experience for anybody planning their wedding. We thought that this would be a great way to give that unique distinction where it's not available in any part of the country and would be the only state and only resort that would provide that kind of an experience. So it really was that thought process that was driving this project of ensuring that Lumpong Deng area would be part of it, but it would not be part of the main construction. It would be only an addition to it. But nonetheless, sir, as I've always mentioned, we are very much open to concerns. We are very much open to all the issues that are raised by the people. And as a government, we always believe that we must take the people along. And hence, based on that principle, realizing that people were concerned about this and were not totally agreeable to the way we were moving forward, we decided to remove Lumpong Deng from the Umiam 5-star hotel project that is there. And so therefore we have done it already, sir. So Lumpong Deng is not part of the project as mentioned, but the Umiam Taj and Spa Resort is on track, sir. And the process that is followed in this is that the land that is owned there by the government, where existing government infrastructure already is there, that is the land where this hotel will be built, sir. So I just wanted to give that clarification. I'll further give more. That the government is consistently engaged with stakeholders and remains sensitive to public concerns. Following representations made by Sinjuk Rangbashnong of Riboy and discussions held with the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister on 20th of April 2026, it was decided to exclude the island from the project. The island has accordingly been withdrawn from the concession agreement, and the requisite modifications are being undertaken to give effect to this decision. So it would be appropriate to place before this August House the relevant facts and developments concerning the project. The state government accords the highest priority to environmental protection, and all projects are designed and implemented in strict compliance with prescribed environmental safeguards, statutory requirements, and sustainability standards. Even prior to the issuance of the tender for the Umiam project, the empowered group of ministers under my chairmanship had decided in its meeting held on the 8th of July 2025 that no permanent structure would be allowed on Lumpong Deng Island. So we had already decided this aspect but I guess there were different media propaganda which showed that construction was taking place in Lumpong Deng, which then made people believe that. But this decision that there would be no permanent structure was already taken on 8th of July 2025. Only temporary, non-intrusive and environmentally sustainable facilities designed using lightweight, modular and sustainable materials and capable of being dismantled or relocated were to be permitted. But this is just to mention, sir, now the island is not part of the project at all. This decision was subsequently incorporated into the tender issued by the Tourism Department on 23rd October 2025, and was made an integral part of the concession agreement executed on 25th of February 2026 between the Directorate of Tourism and Umyam Hotels Private Limited. The agreement expressly prohibited any permanent construction on Lumpongdeng Island and provided that all the new development would be confined to the site occupied by the existing Orchid Lake Resort. While existing forest regulations of both the state and the government of India permit construction on the Lumpongdeng Island, the state government went beyond regulatory requirements to ensure environmental protection. So I want to put this on record, sir, that though environment procedures and clearances allow certain construction to take place, we decided genuinely and conscientiously that we will not allow any construction in Lumpongdeng, even before this issue became. So that's why when this issue came out, I kept repeating that we have already taken a decision not to put up anything there. But I guess whatever the issues were being raised were more, I guess, heard. And therefore, this kind of issue came up. But as I said, sir, since we had no intention, it did not impact the project at all. So we were happy to withdraw the Lumpongdeng Island from it, sir. So the consent of establish issued by the Meghalaya State Pollution Control Board contains an explicit condition that no permanent structure shall be allowed on Lumpongdeng Island. The CTE further provides that any violation of this condition shall render the approval liable for immediate revocation. It is also pertinent to note that the CTE is only a preliminary approval and does not by itself permit construction. Any project activity can proceed only after detailed project report is examined and approved by the Tourism Department, strictly in accordance with the provisions of the concession agreement. Additionally, let me address the issue of privatization unequivocally. Under every tourism PPP project in the state, ownership of the land remains with the government of Meghalaya. The land is leased only for implementation of the projects that create employment for our youth. The Umyam project and every other tourism project implemented by the state government have followed due process and upheld the highest standards of transparency. Private partners were selected only after meeting stringent technical, sustainability and eligibility criteria. Similarly, public-private partnership models have been successfully adopted in several nationally and internationally recognized sustainable tourism destinations, including Bhutan, where such frameworks have facilitated responsible tourism development while ensuring environmental stewardship, retention of public ownership, and job opportunities for our locals. And I also would like to address, sir, that when any kind of these partnerships or these kind of projects come in, there are always a partnership that takes place, sir, and there is scope for that. And therefore, the Taj Group had made their own partnership agreement with whichever partner that they are comfortable with. Taj cannot be forced to do something which they don't want to do. It is their desire, it is their decision. And therefore, this particular partnership on this conglomeration of partners and groups came together and they bid it. And Taj has got very, very strict, especially since this is Taj Spa and Resort, one of the top brands of Taj. So Taj has multiple brands. So they have the Ginger, they have Vivanta, then they have Taj, and then they have the Taj Spa and Resort. So this is the top brand that the Taj group has. And therefore, the functioning, the management, and all aspects, Taj is very, very, very particular, even to the extent of what kind of, different designers or what kind of different materials will be used. There is a very detailed SOP with just not Taj, sir. Every large hotel group and chain, they have their procedures cut out. And let me show the house that that is how we will ensure that this particular aspect is also incorporated in this project. And let me show the house, as I said, that this is a very prestigious project for us, sir. We are very happy today that all other development aspects also are in line. We expect our airport also to be in line and operational in terms of the larger aircrafts very soon, sir. I don't want to give a date because obviously there are challenges, but the process is on now and we are on track. At the same time, sir, the expressway will come up in the long run. So all of these aspects will make this destination a very, very, very viable, at the same time, a very popular destination in the long run. And we expect that because of that, the footfall will increase. And once we have this footfalls increasing in this area, sir, these people will go out and, and involve in activities around that region, which will be activities that will then further be run by our own local people. And all local economy, the ecosystem of the economy will develop. And that is how, sir, economy moves forward. So one has to understand when economic development is involved, when projects are involved, it is not just the project, but what it does to the entire ecosystem that is there. It converts the entire space into a different economic zone because the spending capacity goes up, money flowing in terms of the tourist spending, in terms of the hotel spending, in terms of the allied activities that are required. All of these activities leads to the growth and the job opportunities that we all are talking about.
Habatin, pej bahagi kishab plus F.
Ka plus F?
Hakabam bangibam dunaki eki bataye kamet. Namar kata habathiru atau khau kamlu ka umpnyang kadut pej ya kishab plus F haka jingsom. Yaki nutrient kumki vitamin bat ka ayan la icon diat bat ka bathau bha kam kta ai ka dur jingki marbam ka jing mat lani ka rukom shed yaki balehi banai kita ka don ka we ka jing mentoy ba kongsan ka kot ka khia ka nutrition ba kham bha ka jing im ba kham bha pendon kam daki marbam madon ka sharp plus F menta kasni
Lawan Ra Shapi Lingba ko office jong Commissionerate of Food Safety Meghalaya